oh, it's a game changer.
Yeah. When you think about it, Jesus used all the tools at his disposal that was relatable to his time. And I often think, and we were just talking earlier, what would Jesus do today? He was here. What tools would he use to reach people and to get the good news out there? Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here with Clint, and I'm gonna allow Clint to share about your business. You have a unique approach to marketing, and especially working with churches and working with businesses. I love, we were just talking, and you have a very unique approach and also a crossover approach with working with businesses and churches. Our audience is primarily churches. We do some business work as well, but I'd love for you to share what you do and the name of your company, and you have multiple different brands. So take it away. Tell us about you.
Hey, thanks, Josh. Glad to be here with you guys and love what you do here. Man, every church, I'm telling you, man, it's just an awesome opportunity. I was telling you right now, the moment with LED, the walls, they've gotten so reasonable. Now's the time to set them up for your church. So just a little side note, talking, man, as far as refresh, love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Honored to be here with you here at the conference. Our heart, we've got a company called PMF Creative. Also, we got Creativo AI company as well. But we help churches, nonprofits, really just grow and reach more people, man. Just taking off. And it's just really utilizing technology and all modern means of communication to grow. I think that a lot of times it's just out of ignorance, we don't know what's available. Like, for instance, with AI, I always ask people, hey, are you using AI? In most churches, sometimes there's a little hesitancy, like AI, we're kind of a little hesitant. But then I ask you, are you using AI? And then if you think about it, you're like, well, do you use Facebook? Do you use Google?
Right.
Do you use Microsoft? Do you use any of these major companies? Because they all use general artificial intelligence right now in this very moment.
We just don't realize it.
We're all using AI. Whether you know it or not, it's working for you. The question is, why not use it for ministry? That's what I'm asking, Josh. Why not use it for ministry? What a great opportunity to use, all of these massive moments. And if you're there and you're a business owner, you need to be using it as well. But there's a major moment right now that we have with technology, and you're early on. So that's the exciting thing about this moment with AI, is that we're early on, and we can allow, oftentimes the church is late adopters.
Right.
Don't be a late adopter. Get that LED wall. Come on. What are you waiting for? Start using AI. Now's the time.
I love it. So AI technology, obviously it's newer. It's becoming more aware by a lot of us. And for a church that is just got on board with social media and posting and going live, and they're utilizing social media to their greatest capacity that they can, what is a simple way that they can implement AI into what they're already doing?
That's an awesome question. I like that, Josh. It's one of the things I tell us, there's a couple ways. One is is that in the area of content creation and just saving time. It's super easy. I love it. Like, we've developed specific templates for churches and all where you can come in. You can help with sermon preparation. You can help create content. As far as, it was fun. I know under this setting we can't show you, but just did a presentation here at the conference. We're showing all these graphics that were created with AI. And it's like, what? Those ministry graphics were all created with AI? All of them created with AI.
Right.
And the scary thing is it's in seconds. As we all know, if you ever play with AI, first time you play with AI, you're like, wait, what?
How's that possible?
Hold on. Oh, hey. And it's incredible. Why aren't we using that for the kingdom? So to save our ministry team time, we know it. Come on, teams are maxed out. Churches are maxed out, oftentimes working too hard. So the first place is content creation. That's the first one, I would say. The next one, that's saving the team time internally. The next one is digital outreach. That's where it really gets exciting, is in the digital outreach space and what you can do with AI. Oh, it's a game changer.
When you think about it, Jesus used all the tools at his disposal that was relatable to his time. And I often think, and we were just talking earlier, what would Jesus do today if he was here? What tools would he use to reach people and to get the good news out there? Do you think he would use AI?
Yes, I believe he would use all modern means of communication. And the reason I say this is every technological shift can be used for good or evil. And we need to think about that.
That's really good.
Right now, the cameras we're using, the little mics on us right now, we're using it for good. We're telling you about ministry. But it could also be used for evil. Somebody could be making some evil content, putting that out online. The point is, all of this technology, every shift, same thing with the internet, same thing with television. It can be used for good or evil. We're using it for the gospel, but all of this has helped accelerate the gospel. Let's think about major technology shifts, Josh, right here. Well, we'll just go back a little bit. Let's kind of drag back a little bit. The printing press, it put the Bible in everyone's hands. Huge shift. Bible in everyone's hands. To us, that's like normal. Like, what? I've got like 10 Bibles in my home, right? It's like, that's normal, right?
Yeah.
To them, it was like the Bible in my hand.
Yeah.
And then, think about it. Years later, we come, and all of a sudden now, radio, television, expanding the gospel so quick.
Right.
And then same thing, of course, with the internet. As we think of social media, we're reaching more people than we ever thought possible. Right now, you're watching us online somewhere in the world. It's amazing what we can do with technology. AI is the next shift. So to answer your question, I believe, yes, Jesus and his team would be using AI for good.
That's such a good answer.
Because Acts 10:38 says Jesus went about doing good.
So good. Hey, you mentioned the Bible, and we did a tour of the Museum of the Bible in DC. So quick shout out for them. If you're in the Northeast, you definitely got to go. Really, if you're anywhere, go to Museum of the Bible. They have one of the first printing presses that were used to reprint the Bible as opposed to writing it all out.
Oh, man,
and it was incredible just to see the data, the numbers of how many people heard about the gospel as soon as the printing press became a thing and became a reality to be able to use and multiply the Bible. So you bring up a really good point. And so share about your brands. How do you have different brands within PMF Creative, and what do each of them specialize?
That's awesome. So we have, of course, PMF Creative, which would be our agencies. We work with churches, nonprofits, and businesses, and really coming in, take it from a side of whether it's custom websites, whether it's digital strategy, handling social media management, or really that virtual team for a lot of churches, nonprofits, and we'll scale up and down with their teams, helping them areas with marketing and grow. And then we have, which is exciting, actually it was during COVID, the Lord led us into the move into AI and into technology. So we started the journey, went all in this area. And it's been exciting because as we got into this space, we began to disrupt what we do, taking all of our human knowledge and putting it into technology where things were going and saying, how can we accelerate and help churches and nonprofits do more? So that's what we've done with AI. It's been very exciting to see now and build out the opportunities. Got some real cool stuff with of course our AI Digital Pass, where we help, if you don't know, there's Google Ad Grant, where for $10,000 in free advertising for nonprofits and churches, our AI software will manage. We got approved with Google. It's a big deal. We got approved with Google to be able to manage these Google Ad Grants with our AI software. So been really neat opportunity. We're just excited, man, to help. The greatest joy is when you see, I'll tell you a great example. Great example is this. We saw Pastor Tim come to us, Josh, and Pastor Tim, 20 years in a church, right? Amazing pastor, man, amazing teacher of the word. The church declined. He didn't move with technology. He didn't shift, closed its doors. Came to us and he said, Clint, can you help me with an AI digital outreach system? I want to start a new church. I said, okay, let's do it. So we started planted a brand new church with him. 1 year later, same pastor, but he did a mind shift and he said, I'm going to go with new technologies, new methods. He allowed us to go out, digital outreach, set up the system. 1 year later, packed out house. 2 overflow rooms, entirely packed.
Really?
The place, reaching people for Jesus. It was the same pastor. The only thing that changed was a mind shift and a shift to go, I'm going to go with technology, I'm going to go with the changes. It says Exodus 14:15, there's this interesting verse here where the children of Israel are coming out, right? They're coming out, all of a sudden they're coming out from Egypt. And they're complaining because you've got, man, all of a sudden the Egyptians are behind them and they're complaining all this. God says to Moses, I'll protect you, I'm fighting for you. He says, stop crying, get moving. And this is what happened with Tim. Imagine here, oftentimes that's us. That was Tim. He was complaining about lack of church volunteers, complaining about church declining. And instead he shifted his mindset and said, get moving. Many times that's us. God's saying, hey, get moving. Don't stay where you're at. If you want something different, do something different. Get an LED wall, change your mindset. Come on, let's go with technology so you can reach the young people, you can reach the next generation. It's powerful. With the LED walls, one of the amazing things is you can change a virtual background to actually change the setting of your service when you speak. You've been in the services and seen it, but imagine as a pastor that investment, what it does visually to bring the word of God visually out. See, we're creatives. It's powerful. One of the things we found is when you bring out the visual arts, you put that LED wall, it's going to bring up and reach a whole different group of people that you wouldn't even have thought that your church could reach. So I'd encourage you, man, get a hold of Refresh. You need to get a hold of these guys. Get that LED wall. I know you guys are following them, but if you're not, if you haven't, you need to do it. But that's our part, kind of what we're doing, just helping churches shift We love it. Nonprofits, businesses. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, and you know what I love about what you do is you're great at what you do. And there are a lot of companies that are good at what they do, but you bring the heart and you understand what they're trying to do, what their end goal is. You know, other marketing agencies might have the analytics and the data and might have the right tools to be able to do that. But when they bring somebody on like you, who is ministry minded, you're kingdom minded, and you understand, hey, what's all about souls. It's about reaching people. And you come alongside a church or even a kingdom minded business, you can help them so much more than somebody that's just looking at the tangible results.
Exactly.
So that's amazing. I love that you do that.
Right. No, and you're so right, getting the heart of it. And I think that's probably just our passion in seeing just, man, people come to Christ and bringing that out, is that I would remind everyone with that, with technology, is that AI, when you hear that, don't be intimidated, because it's not about automating faith. It's about automating the nurture. Think about that.
Say that again.
It's not about automating faith. It's about automating the nurture.
That's good.
So what it's about is, imagine now AI knows your audience, what they like, what they're interested in, what their struggles are, and it can communicate with them your message in a way that starts the conversation about Christ. Come on, why wouldn't I use that tool?
Right.
You're telling me I could reach more people, have more conversations about Christ online?
Yeah.
And now we're automating the nurture, getting more opportunities to reach people. So you're exactly right.
That's
our
so good.
passion for reaching people for Christ.
And you mentioned earlier a mind shift in Pastor Tim. And I think a lot of us, when we hear AI, we think about automations, we kind of tense up, you know, because we think, we have this perception in our mind that AI is going to take over the world. We're going to have robots doing everything for us. They're going to take over jobs. It's kind of this all-encompassing evil. But when we look at it differently, when we have that mental shift and say, hey, this is actually a tool. This is awesome. And now we can use it to multiply our efforts. Now that's what happened with Pastor Tim. And out of that, he was able to reach more people.
You're exactly right. And impact more people and shifting with it. And just remind all of us, we always fight change. What is a technology shift? It's change. Our body fights change. Even if it's starting a workout routine, whatever it is, it's change. We fight it. How about we remember when these things came out? These smartphones, come on, that changed. Now, if the young generation, they don't know anything about it. But some of us that know for the first time, the change of just having a smartphone was a radical shift, right? And I'll give my wife as an example. I shift a little quicker with technology, of course, is what we do. So I have, of course, already that smartphone early on. I'm an early adopter. My wife's like, I'll never get one of those. What is that? You know, all your What happens? She's a late adopter. The day she gets one, I love it. What was I doing all these years? We see pastors do the same thing. And oftentimes they come, and it's heartbreaking, because you could reach more people for Christ. Is that it's like, and I'm sure you see it with LED walls. Oh, we should have put this in a year ago. This is amazing. We should have invested this money beforehand. Same thing with technology. I always see it. It's so beautiful. One of the things I see is, I don't see people come back and say, I shouldn't have made this investment. What I see is, I see people come back and say, I should have made it sooner. I should have shifted sooner.
Should have started sooner. Yeah, that's so good. Well, I love what you're doing. So PMF Creative, please follow them on social media. We'll make sure to have links below. We'll make sure to tag you on all of our posts. We're going to cut this up a little bit. But last question I have for you. Give me your top 3 favorite AI apps that you use on a daily basis.
Top 3 AI. Of course, I use myself. I use Creativo AI. And so that's a big one. So I'll use on our end. I do use, as far as something my team uses, or that I personally use.
Oh, you personally. Maybe on an everyday basis you're using.
Because we've got lots of tools.
I'm sure,
I'll give you one that I personally like is Perplexity. I love Perplexity. I think that is very exciting, is trailblazing. If you want to look at their new Rabbit, which is coming out, that's awesome. On the cutting edge, that's something. And then a lot of times we'll play around just to keep up with, of course, with Bing's Copilot and with ChatGPT. Both of them, just to see as far as what's in the game, what they're doing. Those are kind of the more known ones. But there's a lot of fun ones out there. Do some Google searches, play around with it, get in early. Now's the time.
One last thing, I did a AI prompt just to see what it would come out with. And I said, hey, give me a 10-year business plan. And I gave it some, just some simple parameters of what we've done already with Refresh. And it
spit out a 5-page business plan for us. Now, obviously, we're not going to follow to a T, but there were some pretty good nuggets in there that I was able to take a look at and say, okay, maybe there's some stuff here I can look at.
Exactly right. And even if it expedites, once again, you're saying your process, right? Where it gave you some things to look at, some angles to look at.
Yeah.
And it expedites. Many times I find that with AI is it gives you a different angle.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I didn't think about that angle. So there's so many areas it expediates, and that's just one use case. I love it.
I love it.
So good.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Clint. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right, make sure you follow this guy.
All right. Thanks.